Over to you, Shubho.
Thank you so much, Sunil. And again, good morning, good evening to everyone. So what you just mentioned, Sunil, is exactly what we will be talking about as well. The journey from body consciousness to soul consciousness, right? But that can wait. So we have been discussing multiple concepts, but as you all know, as we have been talking, this course is about practice, 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 practice. The welcome page says that too. When we are waiting for you guys to join, there's a welcome page which says learn, practice, and experience. This is all about that, right? The key is practice. So let's start with practicing to be in the present moment. Sunil just talked about it. Let's make it a very conscious choice. All the action, if it ever was, if it ever will be, every action is here. And now we are choosing to meditate. And thank you for making that excellent choice. You choose to be here. Now it's time to meditate. Again, thank you to all of you, my gratitude. Let's begin our meditation in gratitude. Let's be in gratitude. Let's not worry about what we do not have. Let's not resist things which we are not happy about. Let's be in the present, in the now. Let's be in gratitude. So with that, you all know the procedure. Those wearing your specs, kindly please remove. By the way, thank you so much for those people who have kept their videos on. It really helps. As you know, meditation starts with relaxing your body. So sit comfortably. However you're sitting, please be absolutely comfortable. Clasp your hands. I see many people are already doing that. See, we don't need instructions. We already know this. Clasp your hands, cross your legs, cross your feet if you're sitting on a chair, which most of you are. Close your eyes. Let's be absolutely comfortable, dear friends. Please take a few moments. Let's drop all the expectations, drop the mental burdens which we have. Everything and anything which we have to do can wait. Now we are meditating. Scan your body. See if there is any tension anywhere. Forehead, neck, eyes, shoulders, hands, knees, feet. If you have to readjust, move your body, that's absolutely fine. Be comfortable. Slowly bring your awareness to your normal, natural breath. Just observe the breath. No controlling, no manipulating, just the breath as it is. We are just observing. We know that our body is breathing. We are not. Just observe it. Inhalation, exhalation. Just be with the breath. Anapanasati. Breath happens on its own. It's effortless. We're just observing. Enjoy being with your breath. If thoughts comes, just come back to the breath. Don't fight. Don't resist. Just come back to the breath. No visualizations, please. Let's do our best to be with the breath. Please don't go with the thoughts. Come back to your normal, natural breath. Continue being with your breath, dear friends. Normal, natural, easy flow of breath. Last 10 minutes. Slowly come back, dear friends. Please be aware of your body. Please take your time. Whenever you're ready, unclasp your hands. Place the fingers on your eyes for 5 to 10 seconds. Open your eyes whenever you're ready. All right, thank you so much, dear friends. Let's start with today's presentation. Again, please take your time. Sunil, can you see my screen?
Yes, Shibu.
Thanks, Sunil.
Yes. Welcome.
All right, dear friends. So this is our topic for today, journey of life. So before we proceed, just want to hit on a few concepts. Let's start looking into those. Let's start with understanding truth and reality. So what's the difference? Truth is something which is true forever, everywhere, every time, ever, right? So, but reality is also true, but it needs a space and time. It is true for a limited period of time or limited point in time. The truth just is. It doesn't need an external stimuli or anything. Just is. It is true. So we know that our body is true, our mind is true, but we should ask ourselves, is the body forever? So as the slide says, the body has death, but the soul is eternal, right? What is the main difference? It is death. Death is a separator, right? Soul is the truth. The body is real for a certain point in time, a certain period of time. The body is absolutely real. The soul, we are a soul which is without body or with body, we are there. The soul has its existence. And this is what we will realize as we meditate. Let's look at death. So before we go into this aspect, let's look at two types of consciousness, which is if we are identified with the body, then this is a very, very fearful thing to happen, right? If we are identified as a soul, then it's a little different. It's not, death is not something which we are worried about or fearful about. So in body consciousness, this is the state where there is fear and anxiety. So let's look at death a little bit more in detail. So we all have a limited amount of time in this reality of life. Death is what gives meaning to life, right? We have limited amount of breaths. X number of breaths is what we have in this life. So don't you think that this gives meaning to time as well? Death is what helps helps us understand the meaning of life, right? We have this life. Why have we come here? All of these questions are relevant because of death. Our spiritual experience is always real, but this body is a current reality, and death is what separates it, right? The body consciousness, the soul consciousness. So let's look at a video game example. Most of us might have played video games. Let's take an example of a car game. You have multiple lives. You choose an avatar, and you drive a car. So the goal is to cover a certain distance, cover a certain track, right? So we don't care about, we just do our best. We have multiple lives. We know we have multiple lives. So what we do is do our best, give our best, experience the life, experience that particular life, explore the tracks, explore all the tracks. If we die, it's okay, because we know we have another life. We have a new life. So maybe we can choose a different avatar. Maybe we can just continue. Maybe just change something, right? Maybe different track. But that's very similar, right? This is why we take these lives to choose multiple experiences, to live multiple experiences. So once we understand and accept death, then that's when the life starts, right? Every moment, we know every moment is important. This brings us back to the present moment as well. We talked about the now. We talked about why it's important. So now let's look at it from a spiritual person's perspective. If you are into soul consciousness, then why are we worried about death? We will not be, because it's not a negative thing. We can celebrate death. We know death is an enabler rather than something which is negative. So we can look at it as a reset, right? We have our current experience, and once we are done with this experience, we do a reset and choose a new experience, choose a new body, new experience. So let's look at the real purpose of life. Now that we have understood death, let's look at the meaning and the purpose of life. So it can be categorized into two categories, essentially spiritual purpose and the earthly or the physical purpose. So earthly purpose, as we have been discussing, it's to learn from our experiences, right? We choose the various experiences. In one life, we might have a lot of riches. Maybe in the next life, we want to live as a poor person and understand that life, experience it. If you are born as a male, we will not be able to experience motherhood. So that's a different lifetime. So we have to go through all these experiences. So the key here is experiment. And then based on that experiment, we experience different forms of emotions, experience in the form of emotions. So from that, we get this knowledge. From there, enjoy and evolve. So another key question with all this knowledge and information, the key question which we should be asking ourselves is this: what are we meditating as? Soul or body? And based on that answer, whatever you came up with, right, these questions become relevant. Look at the perspective. Are we human beings having a spiritual experience? Or are we spiritual beings having a human experience? Now let's go back to the previous slide. You see how the perspective shifts, right? If you are in the soul consciousness. All right, so now let's get into a story which most of us know very well, the story of Ramayana. And the key thing here is the characters of Ramayana are within us. You know, in the olden times, the story was used as a medium to communicate the various aspects. like the mind, soul, ego. These becomes various characters. Valmiki used that too for Ramayana. There are characters which symbolize ego, mind, body, soul, etc. So let's look into that. Ramayana is Rama's story, right? But we are going to look at it from a spiritual perspective. We know the key characters here: Rama, Lakshmana, Sita, Hanuman, Ravana, and many others. So let's start with Rama, the hero, right? So Rama was born in Ayodhya. He is the soul, the perfection or the real you. So where is Ayodhya and what is Ayodhya? Ayodhya is nothing but soul consciousness. This is a place where there is no conflict. And again, one more meaning of Rama is the light within me, the sun or the light within me. So let's look at Sita, the heroine. So Sita is born from Mother Earth. Sita is our mind. So why mind? So yesterday we looked at brain and the mind, right? Sagar sir explained that concepts. Brain is the hardware. So mind is the software, right? Allows us to experience the physical life. So body is something which is made of the elements. And when we vacate our body, the body is gone. The body is gone. So we are back. So mind is coming out of identification with the body. So as the story goes, mind as per the golden deer, which in this case is the desires. So we touched upon it when we talked about the Eightfold Path, Buddha's Eightfold Path in other sessions too, the desires. So when those desires, when it chases those desires of the golden deer, it distances, Sita distances herself from Rama, who is the soul. Then Lakshmana, the companion of Rama and Sita. So always there is the intellect or the awareness. It always cautions us, right? We all know the story of Lakshman Rekha, when Lakshman created that Rekha or that boundary for Sita to stay in. It's a line of caution. It tells us what is wrong, what is right. But we know many times we bypass this. Now comes our villain. It's Ravana. Ravana is our ego. He rules Lanka. Right? And what does Lanka mean? This is the body consciousness. Just our body consciousness. So this, once the story as the story goes, right? Sita is trapped in Lanka. She is sitting under the Ashoka tree. And as you can see here, Ravana is asking her to marry. And there are all these demons telling her that, actually forcing her to marry her. They just come up, they force her to marry. So yesterday, Sagar sir talked about the pain body, right? And this is these demons which come up. It's nothing but the pain body. If you give energy to them, if you identify with them, then there is inevitably suffering and pain. Surabhadra in sir's example yesterday. So if you identify, you are in absolute pain. So let's do a recap. Mind, when mind goes behind desires, it distances itself from the soul, crosses the line of caution, and gets trapped in body consciousness. And this is where it falls into the clutches of ego. In this example, Ravana. This is the state of suffering. You are identified, you are in ego consciousness, and you're identified with you're giving energy to the pain body which arises, and this is the cause of suffering. But the story doesn't end there. Here comes our hero. So till now, it was a pretty sad story after it started, right? It's a suffering. Sita gets kidnapped. There's a lot of suffering here. But now from here, it's getting better because Hanuman is here, and Hanuman is breath. Right? He's the Vayuputra. And this is here is where the Sundarakanda starts. It's the most beautiful part of the story. He, or Hanuman, is the one which connects, or who connects Sita and Rama, connects the mind and the soul. So he's always ever loyal to the soul. And it's also beyond the control of the mind. So this is what we have been talking about, right? Meditation. Using our breath, we are beyond the mind. We are connecting with the soul. Look at this picture. Hanuman and Rama, breath and the soul. Breath gets hold on your mind, and mind becomes aware and wise, aligns itself with the soul, attains joy and peace, which is Ayodhya, the soul consciousness. We are back in our home. And this is the point of this whole spiritual practice and meditation, right? Our journey from body consciousness to soul consciousness. It's what I was calling as the journey of life. Thank you so much, dear friends. Over to you, Sunil.
Thank you, Shibu. That was wonderful. That is so wonderful, so wonderfully narrated the story of Ramayana, connecting to our breath, meditation, the journey. Thank you. So we'll now get into the questions. I think we have Sagar sir as well, so let's. Sir, we can take questions, right, sir? I think
Yeah, sure. Yeah, good morning, friends, and good evening, friends. Again, yeah, wonderful narration by Shibu. The first time I heard this connection between the characters of Ramayana and body, mind, soul, I was like taken. It was a wonderful dimension to the story of Ramayana, though we've been hearing and seeing it for a lot of years. Thanks, Shibu, for wonderful narrative.
So I'll take one question which was asked a couple of days back to begin with. It's a very basic question, but it's very important too. Asked by Shakti Vadivu. I'm feeling sleepy and low energy after meditation rather than energized. Is this expected during initial stages of practice?
Ideally not. It's usually because of less relaxation or because of food, issues with food outside of meditation. So because your body is not completely rested, completely relaxed, you probably are feeling it that way. A lot of people, this is not uncommon. So people new to meditation, initially, a lot of people I've heard, they say, I go into meditation, after that, I go and sleep before going to work, right? So they get a very good sleep. So it is because the mind is getting silenced a bit, but then that is when the body is trying to relax. Earlier, all the energy was in the mind. The body was not relaxing. Now, because the mind is calming down, the body is trying to relax, and that is why you feel sleepy. So good sleep and good hygiene, good food should help. But again, please continue the practice, but be aware of the other factors in terms of taking more rest, drinking lots of water, right? And then having food at the right times, that should help. It will improve. It's not uncommon.
Thank you, sir. Friends, you can raise your hand digitally. We can unmute you and you can ask the question directly. So we already have one person, Kamalakar. I'll just yes, please go ahead with the question.
Yeah, what is the difference between Rishi's spiritual meditation and our meditation?
What is the spiritual meditation, you mean?
Yeah, the difference between Rishi's meditation and our meditation. Like Swamijis will do the everyday meditation.
Yeah, so there are different schools of meditation, sir. So Swamijis also might have done breath meditation also. So there are different types of meditation. There is this mantra meditation, there is chanting, right? There is a meditation that focuses on a light here. The meditation that focuses on a word. I mean, you must have heard about transcendental meditation. And this is a meditation that focuses on the breath. Different techniques and different results. So for example, for students, we normally recommend just focusing on a one word, right? So basically for them, their objective is only concentration. So instead of getting distracted, most of the time they just focus on any word, and then it helps them concentrate. This one is going all the way, all the 9 yards, right? Anapanasati meditation is supposed to be that, being with the breath, and it has its own 3 or 4 steps. So the technique is different, the goal is the same, and different types of meditations have reached different stages of that journey. That is all. Everything works on concentration. Everything gets you to silence your mind. The techniques and paths are different. That is all.
Thank you, sir. We have a question from Venkatesh. Good morning. Or a small question. When I do meditation during that period, my mouth gets dry and feel body is too hot, or maybe energy. No idea. Kindly advise if this is normal.
Yes, absolutely. I think we have covered that in the meditation experiences, right? And that is why we always recommend, when you meditate, have a bottle of water right next to you. As soon as you meditate, you can drink water, or people who are going through long hours of meditation, they close their eyes, they sip the water. But all this is common experiences because of the physiological changes, your energy changes in your body. So feeling hot, feeling cold, mouth getting dry. Some people get a lot more saliva. So it all depends on this thing, but everything will go away. Again, you take the appropriate precautions.
Thank you, sir. There's a question from Shirish. Truth and Maya. How could one compare and understand?
Shibu?
Yeah, so truth is real all the time, as we mentioned, right? It's always there. And Maya, or the lie, is something which needs to be energized. So once we continue in our path, our spiritual journey, we will understand, we will be able to see the difference between what is not real and what is real. Please continue with your spiritual practice, and you should always be able to find that difference about the Maya and the truth things. Truth doesn't need anything for it to be energized. It's always there. Sir, if you want to expand on this.
No, good point. I mean, truth is always permanent, and everything else keeps changing. So in the world, everything keeps changing, right from the body, the cells. So anything that keeps changing is illusion or Maya.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Shibu. We have a hand raised by Santi. Yes, ma'am. Please go ahead with your question.
Yeah, I'm a regular viewer of a PMC channel. So in that, I'll be watching all the interviews. So they say that they are getting different visualizations when they do meditation, but it is just common curiosity. Past 1 year I'm doing, but I didn't get any sort of that visualization, light, or they say that they have seen Rama, they have seen Buddha, they have seen Krishna. So they have seen all the gurus, even Paramahamsa Yogananda, everyone they have seen, they'll be saying in the interviews, okay, common people. But I didn't get any such kind of visualization. Am I doing it right? Meditation, I don't know. So is it mandatory?
Yes, ma'am, you are doing it right, nothing to worry. So welcome to the meditation movie multiplex. So everybody has their own different experience. Even Patriji, for example, I've been doing it for the last 15 years. I've never had Mahavatar Babaji or Rama come into my meditation. So I also asked Patri sir. Patri sir also said the same thing. Even I didn't get much of experiences, right? So the answer is yes. I think again, as we had covered in the experiences session, all these are visual experiences. They keep coming and going because of the mind play, right? Again, nothing to worry about it. And we'd like to just ignore the experiences, body experiences, visual experiences, sound experiences, anything, right? Patriji always says, three things we should never analyze, right? One is meditation experiences, second is dream experiences, and third is life experiences. Oh, why is this happening to me? Why is something else happening to someone else? So it's nothing to worry about it. And Patriji's reasoning is, see, some of us would have had all those kind of experiences in our past lifetimes also. So it is not necessary that you need to have those experiences. And then ultimately, whatever experiences you have, it's just visual mind play. Ultimately, according to Buddha, you'll have to reach that empty mind. An empty mind means no experiences. So people go through that. So as long as you're doing your practice right, and then you're getting into that empty state, you're feeling better, feeling good. That is what matters.
Yes, sir. Sir, one more doubt, sir. This Ramayana, whatever you explained, that's really a different perspective. So I wanted to know, have the recorded session. Where will it be shared, sir? Recorded session, because I couldn't note down what you have shown, no? The slideshow. I couldn't note down the points, but I wanted to know that Ramayana part. So how can I get it, sir?
So the recording is there in a portal. I think Sirisha will post in the chat. You can access, log in to register in that link, and you get recording for all the days.
Thank you.
Welcome. Okay. There's one question from Neha. Can you please elaborate more on the purpose of life? What is the spiritual purpose? Is it realizing the soul consciousness?
So it is not realizing the soul consciousness, but the purpose of life is something which we will understand at any given point in time. Right? Once we are in touch with the truth, then we understand, we start realizing our purpose. For example, my purpose at this point in time would be to teach spread meditation. So we are in touch with our purpose at this point in time, but that we can only realize when we are in soul consciousness, when we are in touch with the truth, when we are in that consciousness, then we'll realize it. Sagar sir, if you want to add on to this.
No, it's fine.
Thank you, Shibu. We have a fundamental, I know there's a hand raised, but we have a fundamental question. Let me first take that up, asked by Sirisha. What time of the day meditation is more fruitful?
So generally speaking, early morning times are good for us because of the way our body biological rhythm is set, right? So morning times, because before the mind gets into a lot of other stuff, you try to get that concentration power so that the entire day that you deal with becomes better. But having said that, for this breath awareness meditation or Anapanasati meditation, you can do it any time of the day. You can, the ideal thing is you do it early in the morning, and then probably you do it just before bed so that you get good sleep. But otherwise, there is no specific recommendations on something specific. But doing it early in the morning is ideal, but other times are also fine.
Thank you. We have a hand raised by Raghavendra. Please go ahead, sir.
Sir, namaste. Thanks for this meditation course. Actually, I'm delighted. One basic question I have with the method of this Anapanasati. See, being with the breath, actually, while I breathe in, I'm with the breath till it goes to lungs. Okay, while breathing in, breathe out. I will put my breathe out. Should I be conscious, be with the breath only till the end of nostril or beyond that? Because the air inside, which went inside, is going outside my nostrils, right? So should I be with the air which has gone out, or should I be aware, be with the breath only till the end of nostril while breathing out?
Yes, so you'll have to be with your normal, natural breath. So if you're feeling it till the time you feel your breath. So once the air goes out of your nose, you don't feel it, right? So you breathe.
Should I be with the air which has gone out?
No, once it is out, no. Right.
Okay.
So you feel your breathing, you feel the lung, then it breathes. So you feel a sensation in the near the nose, right? So or upper lip. That is all. So then immediately you start your in breath, right? So you'll immediately start your in-breath, you focus on the in-breath, out-breath, in-breath, out-breath. So normal breath, you don't need to, even need to analyze, oh, it's going into my lungs. So wherever you're feeling it, be with the breath.
And there is a pause time between breathing in and breathing out. How should I be with that actually? I mean,
Now, are you able to identify the pause?
yeah, very well. Very
Which
well.
is good. So, which is good. It will take a lot of time for generally people to identify the pause. So, yeah. So at this time, you just need to be aware. Okay, there is a pause, right? Then you immediately take the breath. So, there is whole cycle: in breath, pause, out breath, in breath, then pause, in breath, pause, out breath, right? So, as long as you're continuously aware, then slowly your mind gets concentrated. So, which is good. So, just keep focusing on that entire cycle. You don't need to worry about the breath that goes out. So, immediately, obviously, you'll start the in breath.
And extended question actually, I'm curious to know like how Anapanasati, when I go in depth and in future continue with Anapanasati, and how it's helpful to transcend the body consciousness.
Yes, so it's a big science behind it. If you're interested in reading books, there's a book called Breath by Breath.
Yeah, I will note down.
We'll post it on the chat on the Telegram as well. Breath by Breath by Larry Rosenberg. So that is a complete book on Anapanasati meditation. It talks a lot about what happens, the 16 steps or the 4 stages, what happens. So
okay, if any of you have experienced the out of body experiences, like please do share with us so that it inspires us to go in depth also.
sure, I think we'll share some articles or videos on that.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Thank you, sir. I know it's 7:25. Can we take a couple of more questions, today being Sunday?
Yes.
Okay. We have 2 questions here asked by Surekha. When I meditate, I see colors, mostly purple color. Is this common?
Yes, again, seeing colors during meditation is common. And again, ultimately, as all experiences, it'll just pass. Just need to ignore.
Thank you. One question raised by Valarmati is, could you please explain the Samadhi state and rebirth? Our Siddhas attained Samadhi, so they don't require rebirth and connect with divine permanently. If we want to go for a state of no rebirth, what should we do?
I think Shibu nicely explained and articulated through the Ramayana story. So that's what is realizing our spiritual purpose, right? So each of our spiritual purpose, each of our souls are in different stages of evolution. So, and you can always realize the highest state of evolution during any lifetime. And meditation is one path. Again, there are different techniques, different paths for everyone. So once you realize in experience, right, that you are not your mind, you are not your body, you're aligned with your soul consciousness. You will still be in the world, right, but you're aligned with your soul consciousness, perfectly equanimous, unconditional love. So all these aspects. So once you realize that soul consciousness, then yes, you break away from the cycle of birth and rebirth, right? Birth and death, cycle of birth and death. Having said that, according to the soul science, there are advanced souls who already realized that, but they again come back into the lifetimes to teach others, right? I mean, a lot of Swamijis, Patrijis, so they come here, they realize their awakening, right? They realize their spiritual purpose. They sometimes come in to teach others, to help humanity. All great leaders, most of the great leaders like Mahatma Gandhi, everyone are all like that. So the answer to your question is yes, realizing soul consciousness in everything that we do, being in the present moment, everything that we do, ultimately is what gets us that moksha. Samadhi state is again one state, right? I mean, it's stated, though it's called a state in meditation, Samadhi is that state where you are with soul consciousness. You can work daily also in Samadhi. I mean, there is this thing called effortless action, Nishkam Karma. So you do everything without any emotional attachment, without any negative emotions and all that. So like being in the present moment. So all those are attributes of Samadhi state.
Thank you, sir. I think we'll take just one last question. Hand is raised by Shirish. Okay, I have unmuted you. Please go ahead with the question.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the wonderful experiences that you help us out and make us experience. One question here is that whenever I have a pause between the inhalation and the exhalation, the pause, when it is longer, I feel that I get into the blissful state of thoughtlessness. So I just wanted to understand whether it's it's a fact or the truth that this state, when the pause is longer, you get a blissful state of thoughtlessness.
Yes, sir, absolutely. So you hit the mark. So yes, when the pauses are longer, that is what is empty mind. Over time, you'll feel that empty mind for a long time. You'll be in that blissful state for a longer time, right? You'd even forget your breath. You'd go beyond your breath. Yes, so that is a science. I mean, when you talk about Anapanasati meditation, at some point you will feel that, and that is a natural happening. And good that you're experiencing. Congratulations, and wish that it grows longer.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I think it's close to 7:30. We can pause here for the day, and we can take up the remaining questions the next day. Okay.
Thank you very much. Thanks, my dear friends, and thanks Shibu, Sunil, and the entire team for hosting this again. And friends, have a wonderful, mindful Sunday. Enjoy your day. Thank you.
Thank you. So that concludes our day 10. We'll see you all tomorrow. Bye-bye.